Hello, this is Gio. Hey, look what I have here. I have a bunch of old cassette tapes and VHS tapes. And if you're anything like me, you might have a few of these things lying around. And you might think to yourself, hey, I want to erase the contents of these tapes. So perhaps I could either reuse them so they become more in a pristine, recordable condition. Or you may just want to erase them so you could safely throw them away. So you might think that you could just re-record over the old tapes, and sometimes that works, but usually the quality of the re-recording isn't as good as, let's say, recording off a new tape. Well, there is a method by which you could erase all the contents in these old tapes to get close to the original new tape condition, and I'll show you how to do that today. And here you go. This is what will do the trick. This is actually called a bulk tape eraser. And there is an oscillating magnet in this that could wipe videotapes and cassette tapes clean. There are a number of bulk erasers actually on the market, or should I say used to be on the market. I'm not actually sure if they are continuing to manufacture and sell these today. This one I picked up at Goodwill. And it is a Radio Shack or realistic high power video audio tape eraser with the model number 44-233A. And this one has an 8.5 amp capacity. Now there were earlier brands of Radio Shack realistic ones that had lower amperages. I think it was 5 and 6 amps. And those were pretty good, but they couldn't handle the metal tape cassette tapes. The 8.5 amp versions, it's my understanding, could handle or erase the metal cassette tapes. Now there are other brands out there that could go higher than this amperage, perhaps up to 11 or even 15 amps. There's more professional units that could clean tapes more effectively, more quickly, but this one is designed to do up to the metal cassette tape versions. It's also my understanding that these type of units can also erase magnetic floppy disks, as you can see here. And I've also heard that some of these units can erase old hard drives, like you can see here. This is an internal, this is an external hard drive. But if it is powerful enough to erase all the data on your old hard drives, it can also potentially damage the electronics. So if you want to reuse these hard drives, this is probably not the best way to erase them because the electronics will probably be damaged when you do this, but you might actually be able to erase the magnetic data that's on these hard drives if you have a unit that's powerful enough to do it. Now, unlike the analog VHS tapes, there's also these digital videotapes that are out there. These are the mini digital videotapes. Also, there's some 8mm digital tapes out there. It's my understanding that these tape erasers don't work as well with these kind of digital, although these are also magnetic tapes. I understand that these were recorded with a higher co-resistivity, if I pronounce that correct, that those kind of embed the magnetism into this tape much stronger, and even when you use high-powered oscillating magnets, it's more difficult to erase these digital tapes than, let's say, a VHS analog tape. And so there you have it. We're going to try to test this unit out today on both some cassette tapes and also some VHS tapes. Now, it's my understanding you plug this thing in, you keep it away from the tape initially, you pull the trigger and it starts making a noise and a vibration, and you slowly bring it into the tape. You sort of rub the unit over the tape and it'll make kind of a vibration unit. You move it slowly away from the tape, perhaps flip the tape over, come back slowly, kind of rotate it a few times, and then slowly bring it away from the tape and then turn the unit off. So it's my understanding that you're bringing, you're turning it on and bringing it slowly to the tape, and more importantly, slowly bringing it away from the tape, because if you were to, after kind of like remagnetizing or demagnetizing this tape, if you just were to turn it off like that, there could be kind of like a permanent magnetism orientation put back on the tape, which could bring some background noise back onto the tape, or is some kind of recording on the VHS tape. So after you kind of reorient all the magnetism on the tape, you want to make sure that you move it slowly away so you don't get that sudden shock to the tape that could put some kind of a recording onto this tape. So by moving it slowly away while it's still on, you're making sure that you don't do that, and then you turn the unit off while it's away from the tape. So before we get started, one thing to notice is the intermittent duty, which is 1 minute on and 30 minutes off. Essentially, as this thing operates, it will get kind of energized and hot, and so they would like it to kind of cool down after 1 minute of operation for 30 whole minutes. So usually you can erase, let's say, a cassette tape in 5 to 10 seconds, hopefully, maybe 20 seconds. But so you're going to use this maybe for 1 or 2 tapes, and then it has to rest for 30 minutes. I think some of the older ones with 5 amps, I think it was 1 minute use, 20 minutes rest. But for this unit, you actually have to wait for 30 whole minutes. Okay, so I have a cassette player here, a dual cassette player, just hooked up with some computer speakers. I have I guess you would describe it as a mixtape, but this is just Les Miserables on it, and then just actually purchased tape right here. So we'll go ahead and test it up on a purchased tape. So if we just play the mixtape here, just hit play. Okay, you could tell that it does play. Let's see, that is just this side right there, so we'll have to remember that. This is part 3, side 5. Let's see what this sounds like.
It became a dangerous game for the high-stakes players, battles between rival gangs.
Okay, so they both work well, and so we'll go ahead and try to erase both of these. And so I don't have anything around this unit. I don't have any credit cards, etc., or electronics other than the device itself. And so we will go ahead and plug this in, and then take our Les Mis mixtape here, and then move this away. And then I'm just going to hit the trigger. Actually, I'm going to bring the tape in. So we'll just go ahead and turn it on, and you can see the light goes on. I bring it in. It actually sticks to it. And then we're going to take it out, turn it off. I'm going to flip the tape and do the same again. Turn it on, bring it slowly in. Rotate it, and then slowly bring it back out again. Power on, turn off. Alrighty, so that's the mixtape. Now the pre-recorded tape here, we'll do the same thing. Turn on, bring it in. Turn it back out. Hopefully this hasn't been up to a minute, but we'll just do it one more time. Bring it in, it's been flipped. And then slowly bring it out again. Okay, so we're back by the tape machine here. We got the Les Mis, so we'll go ahead and put it right where we left it off at and hit play and see what happens. It sounds, you get a little staticky, but no waves or residual sounds, so I think it did the trick. We'll reverse the tape. Actually, we're getting a little bit of waving. So it looks like the Les Mis tape is not completely erased, so we're gonna probably have to do the treatment one more time. Let's try the pre-recorded tape. Stick it in, hit play. That side looks like it's completely erased. Go ahead and reverse it. And that one looks like it did a pretty good job. So what's the difference between the tape? This looks like a fairly inexpensive tape. It's definitely not a metal tape, but this one is a Type 4 metal tape. So this one's a little more difficult to erase. We'll do one more treatment and see if we can get this thing completely erased. Okay, after doing it one more time, let's see what happens. Go ahead and hit play. Looks like there might be some residual sound. There's a little bit of a wave. Static. The opposite side. Well, it's mostly done. I think maybe one more time on with that metal tape should probably do the trick. But clearly, the metal tapes are harder to erase, even with the 8.5 amps. Okay, so next let's try the VHS tapes. I have two VHS tapes. I have this one that was recorded with some kind of TV show, and then I have this one which was, I guess, Hollow Man. It came from Hollywood Video. I don't really have the case for it, so I might as well at least test this out. I was going to throw it away anyway. So let's turn this on and see what's on both. Okay, so here's the TV show that was recorded on that one VHS tape, and you can see it's a little staticky, but it's still playing. And here's the Hollow Man tape. And you can see it's a little bit better quality, but definitely there's something recorded on that as well. Okay, so here's the VHS tape. I actually put it on a little towel here so it will kind of hold it down. I don't really like my hand right underneath this thing. So I'm gonna start, gonna turn it on over here. And then I'm just gonna do both reels. And then remove it. And then I'm gonna flip it over and do the other side. All right, and then I'll do the other one just the same way. Okay, and now to test them out. So we'll go ahead and do the taped one first. Hit play. And this is where we were getting that TV show, but now it's just static. I guess this is good. I guess this is what static looks like, a blank tape. And now for the Hollow Man tape, go ahead and put that in and hit play. Hit play, there we go. And same thing, same amount of static, they look identical, and I guess this is a blank tape. And there you go, this little tape eraser does the trick. So if you are interested in doing some bulk tape erasing, I would recommend going on eBay or something else. Get yourself one of these tape erasers. Try to maybe do the higher amp, at least the 8.5 amp versions, especially if you're interested in erasing those metal cassette tapes. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button at the bottom of the screen, and even consider subscribing to my channel. I have many more videos to come. Bye-bye.